Greetings, welcome on Easy. In our last episode, we sailed deep into the Hardenger Fjord. The weather got worse as we reached the town of Odda at the appendix of the fjord. Everything turned grey and we had a lot of rain. This episode is about our attempts to sail out of the fjords again. We left Odda without using the motor, sailing down the fjord with the Genoa only. A few miles north of Odda we passed Tissedal. We learned later that this was one of the worldwide 5 and the only European titanium smelter, where also pigment was produced. Back in 1970 there was so much heavy metal waste in the water that all animals in the Surf Fjord died. We spent the next hours with endless jibes and intermittently had to use the engine due to the continuously changing winds. The wind speed varied between 3 and 33 knots due to the funnel effect of the narrow fjord. At the exit of the Surf Fjord, around the corner, we were surprised by strong headwinds, increasing waves, plus current against us. We couldn't have possibly made the next 50 miles in these conditions, and we didn't have much of a choice than to turn around and head into the Granvin Fjord. There were loads of tree trunks and logs floating around all over the fjord. The attenuated waves made it to the very end of the fjord, so we had a very bumpy berth at the wooden pier. In the last 4 or 5 days, we hadn't seen a single sailing boat in the fjords besides us. It wouldn't stop raining, so we went for a hike to a waterfall in the mountains and stayed for another night. Kirsten used our salon for her climbing exercises. The lowest temperature in the morning was 2 degrees centigrade and the water temperature was 12 degrees. Kirsten even went for a quick swim in the ice-cold water. We had an early start for our second attempt to get out of the Hardanger Fjord. The weather had improved a lot, and we spent the first hours of the day motoring out of the fjords. We had so many occasions to say goodbye to the glaciers. Then the wind increased and we raced down the fjords for several hours. had an early departure from the island of Bömlo for our long cruise along the coast to the Egersund. It was nice and sunny, but still freezing cold. No winds, so it was motoring again for the whole day. The northern branch of the Egersund is very scenic. Our mistake was that we made our way into the harbor of Egersund. On exiting the harbor the next morning, I nearly vomited from the nauseating smell of the fishing industry. In hours of continuous rain, our foul weather gear started to leak. We were frozen to the very bone and decided to head to the Island of Hidra. The secluded harbor of this island is called Kirkehavn and is very idyllic. Despite the beauty of the place, Kirsten and I had a mild crew crisis. I didn't feel at all like videotaping. We discussed the gnarly weather conditions for the coming days to cross the Skagerrak. At one point, Kirsten even considered to leave easy, take the ferry, let me do the crossing single-handed and meet me again in Denmark. On the next morning, we were back to our good old unbeatable team spirit and decided to continue our travel along the Norwegian coast. Join us on our exciting cruise in the next episode. You can see the previous episodes on our channel. If you like it and want to see more, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to give us a thumbs up.